thank you so much for joining me. For you this morning, late afternoon. Me is going on to 2 o'clock here in Philly. But I appreciate your time so much today.
Of course.
And I want to start with a little great minds think alike because I read that you have two dogs,
Yeah.
Bam Bam and Pebbles.
Mhm.
And before I figured out that my cat was a girl, her name was Bam Bam, or its name was
Oh,
Bam Bam. And then
that's so
I
cute.
eventually changed it, but we're already here with
I
the
know.
Bam
We have a
Bam.
mind link. Yeah. And
We're
we
already
got we
minded.
got a third dog recently and we named him Fred to
Okay.
keep on
With the
track.
I know. Well, now you gotta get Wilma next, and you gotta keep with the
Yeah. We
you
were
gotta
thinking
keep
about it.
you gotta keep with the family. So before we get into everything that you have going on with Danger Force, you started in musical theater and drama theater. So clearly you always wanted to be a performer. So what made you want to get into the entertainment industry to begin with?
Uh, I mean, as far as I can remember, I've always performed for people, even if it
Mhm.
wasn't professional. Like my mom told me a story. It's just embarrassing, but kind of funny now. Of like we would go to restaurants and music would play. And
Mhm.
so then I would just like 100% go to other people's tables and perform for them.
Okay.
And while that is slightly embarrassing now, it definitely makes sense about who I am as a person today.
Yeah.
And I was always inspired by just watching other people on TV, and I thought, well, I could do that too.
Mhm.
But I'm definitely have always just been super into performing for people, so theater just seemed like the logical thing for my mom to do.
Right. And I feel like as kids, you kind of know what you like and what you gravitate towards, but
Mm.
don't know what that word for it is.
Yeah,
Just like for me,
yeah,
like I knew I always loved TV, knew I always loved film, knew I loved to write. But once I figured out, like, oh, that's a journalist, like that's what I want to do. So then once
yeah.
you love to perform, it was like, oh, wait, that's an actress. So,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
what you fell into. So how do you think what the biggest difference from going from stage to screen was for you?
Oh, it was a big one because
Hmm.
in stage it's all like one take, and if you mess up, you just keep going and improv's a thing, and
Right.
it's like it's a lot more chaotic and more freeform.
Okay.
Uh, Whereas when I stepped onto stage with cameras, I was like, oh, there's actually like I have to position myself a certain way so cameras can see my face. Like
Right.
normally you would want to talk like face to face with someone, like look at them, but
Mhm.
camera will only sees half of your face, so you have to like cheat out when you talk and still talk to
Right.
them over here. Like that was just a completely different like
I
because it felt they're
know.
like, hey, I want you to look at that door right there. It's gonna look really awkward, but it looks like you're talking to this person. And I'm like,
Right.
cool. So the main difference was that cameras made interacting with people very different. Like
Okay.
it feels almost less personal, but
True.
it definitely tests your ability as an actor to be able to make it believable, because in real life you're staring at a wall, but
Mhm.
you have to make it look as though you're having a deep conversation with the person. I think
Yeah,
that
it's
that
like
would definitely be
that
the
camera
biggest thing.
adds like another person kind of like that you're
Hmm.
playing opposite of having that camera
Yeah.
there. Okay, so Nickelodeon,
Mm.
such a big network. I wasn't a kid, loved Nickelodeon growing up. So for you to be playing this character of Mika Macklin, aka Shout Out, I feel like I always gotta
Hey.
say shout out every time I have to say it.
I mean,
Um
everyone does.
you're playing this character Mika on Danger Force, such a
Mhm.
beloved show. So for those who don't know, give us a little bit of background information about your character Mika.
Uh, Mika's a fun one. She's like an anxious energy ball of of like it's she's a lot, but in a
Hmm.
very like put to I wouldn't say she's put together actually. She can be, but she's very anxious and a lot of energy. She's very kind. She's
Hmm.
the leader, so she has like the feeling of responsibility. She's very good
Okay.
at her job. She takes it very seriously. But at the same time, when everyone else is goofing off, she's 100% down to clown. She knows how to turn it on and off. She's super kind, and her as a superhero is just another level of like professionalism and
Right.
also this straight up weirdness that happens that she just has to be like, this is Swellview. This is where I live.
Hmm.
And just live. It's she's a great character to play because she she's different than other people that I've played before. So it was
Okay.
really fun to be able to dive into her.
Yeah, you've been able to live in her mind for a good 2.5 years now. So,
Yeah.
do you feel any similarities between you two kind of merging in? Do you feel like Mika sneaking into Dana or Dana sneaking into Mika?
Well, I feel like it was a mix of both of those things. I think the more comfortable I got as Mika, the more of my mannerisms would kind of come into her in
Okay.
certain things, and vice versa. Like Mika, it has like a lot of like um anxiety, but also like I'm gonna focus on this one thing and make this like my whole life, and that started to bleed into my life. Like I'll be
Okay.
like, oh, I like painting, so I'm just gonna focus on this for like 2 weeks and then move on to the next thing. So she our similarities are definitely just like our mannerisms with our bodies and how we speak.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're just different because of the experiences that we had.
Right.
She grew up in like a very nice household, 2-parent household, very like both of them stable jobs, like everything was perfect. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to work up to where I am now. So
Right.
it's just we both had different experiences. So we'll always be different people, but
Mm-hmm.
we talk the same, we move very similarly. We bled into each other, but we're still very different.
Okay. And I read that you are a very big advocate in doing your own stunts. And,
Mm.
I feel like more females are stepping into the stunt roles. Back in the day, they used to have men throw on a wig to, play these stunt doubles
Yeah,
for
yeah,
women. So why
yeah.
do you think it's so important for you to do your own stunts? And is it ever nerve-wracking at all?
Oh, it's always so scary. You
Okay.
get like so many rehearsals, and then it's like, okay, well, here's the day. We have like a limited time to shoot this. You're going in a harness. We're taking you up. Have
Mm.
fun. And harnesses are very uncomfortable as well. So, but the fun thing is you're never doing it alone.
Okay.
Um, that's what makes it a little less scary because you have so many people on set there for your safety. They do a bunch of rehearsals and make sure you're comfortable. And the best
Hmm.
part about it is if you do not want to do a stunt, you do not have to, which
Okay.
makes it like gives it like a level of like comfort.
Right.
I've always wanted to do my own stunts. I saw my stunt double. She's an amazing woman. She did my stunts, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we look similar. We have the same body type. Why can't I do that?" And she's
Mm.
like, "Yeah, you totally could." And so we talked to the stunt coordinator, Vince Stedrick, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll set you up with someone you can work on all the things that you need to do for like basic stuff. He'll get into more complicated things as you move on, and I'll let you do your own stunts on set." And then I did, and it's been an amazing experience.
That's awesome. So do you feel like, somebody finds Dana in a dark alley, like you could take them, like did those
No,
did those skills
no,
tend to bleed over?
no. That stunt fighting is completely different from real fighting. Like
Okay.
they teach you not to actually connect.
Okay.
It's all like stunt work is all about cameras. Again, like cameras come in. It's like we don't actually want you to punch someone. We want you to like
Hmm.
take a punch like in front of them, like a few feet away, but the
Okay.
camera's gonna make it look like you connect. So
Right.
I can throw a punch correctly for TV. If it came to a situation where I was like, I don't know, God forbid, getting kidnapped, I would be like, ah, it would be
Well,
a
you never
horrible
know. That
experience.
that fight or flight might kick in. That Mika,
Maybe.
that Mika might hop out.
I mean,
It might hop out.
shout out just comes out like,
She
oh.
might come out.
I mean, I think the best part about that is I think the most like realistic thing that I've learned from that is being able to like
Mhm.
move out of things. Like because
Okay.
I'm so small, I'm squirmy, so I can get
Mm.
out of holds really quickly.
Okay.
I think that's gonna be my best bet. But I mean, I'm planning on taking kickboxing sometime in my life, so I think that should help.
Right. Yeah, you never know. So I feel like Dana, you have such a blossoming career ahead of you, and I am big on manifesting. So I want to give you your manifesting moment. Like, is there anyone that you would love to work with in any
Oh my gosh.
capacity? Either if they're directing you, co-stars, if you
Yeah.
guys, if you want to go into writing one day, like, is there someone that you or some people that you are dying to work with?
Samuel L. Jackson would probably be my number one
Okay.
because I've always wanted to have a career like he has. He is in almost every single movie. Like if you look at his IMDb, you're like, geez, man,
I know.
did you ever take a break?
Yeah.
Like, and I would love to work with him because I've seen him in so many movies and I've always found him funny and I've always found him cool. And him as Nick Fury has been like an amazing thing to see.
Mhm.
Um, but I definitely would love to work with him.
Right.
That would be
And
my number one person.
and he has such an array of roles. You know, you never see
Mhm.
him. You see him in comedic roles. You see him in action. You'll see him in more serious stuff. So it's
Yeah.
definitely a good career to model after. Do you see yourself kind of steering in one direction? Like, do you feel like, you know what, I want to be in comedies right now, or, you know, my next role I want to take on something serious, or is it something just kind of a script just speaks to you, or a role?
Oh, geez, I'm super indecisive. I've never stuck to one thing for very long. So me like focusing in on acting has been like kind of not on par for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the one thing that I've always wanted to do. And because I'm also very indecisive, I can never decide what genre I want to stick with. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always open. I think the one thing I wouldn't be interested in is sketch comedy.
Okay.
Like that's not my forte. I
Mm-hmm.
admire people who can do it. I I don't I find myself not that funny. So
It's
I
hard. It's hard to be funny
it's
on cue. It really is.
yeah, ooh, no. My friend can do it. And I like went to one of her comedy shows and I'm like, how? Because sometimes they wouldn't get the laugh. And so I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that would crush my soul.
I
I
know,
would
right?
cry. But no, I think if I had like a top two things I would love to be a part of, it's like a horror or like an action. Like
A
I would
girl after my
love.
own heart. I love horror so much. Like
I do too.
that's always my go-to genre. Like I watch horror movies to go to sleep, like
Oh my gosh,
to
you're like
get
my
me in the mood.
mom.
I love
My
horror
mom will
movies
like
so
in the
much.
middle of the night, she'll just watch like the scariest movie and then go to bed and be like, hey, I had a nightmare last night. It was really fascinating. It was really fun. I was like, I wonder how that happened.
I know. That's the thing. I rarely have nightmares though, but I love a good horror movie. But one big question I wanted to ask you about Mika, because you are playing not only a superhero, you're
Mm,
playing a female superhero, and then you're
yeah.
playing a Black female superhero. It's
Yeah.
just like we don't get that combination too much. So do you feel, I don't want to say a pressure, but do you feel like you know, a great sense of pride and responsibility to bring a character like that to the screen?
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. Because there's so many like little ones who watch me and who are seeing themselves on screen for the first time. So I want to do
Mhm.
them justice. I don't want to be the
Right.
stereotype like, no, you did not. Like, I'm not, we're
Yeah,
not doing that.
right.
So I've always wanted to be a good role model for little Black girls and just Black people in general to see like
Mhm.
themselves on screen in like a good interpretation. Uh, because we do get like the smart Black girl, but we don't get like the superhero who like kicks butt and like is
Yeah,
no nonsense, but also super fun. Like we don't get complex characters like that as much as for kids television as much as I would like to see,
true.
because I only had Riel when I was growing up as like a Black girl on TV as far as I remember.
Mhm.
So I feel like she had that pressure too. But it's always it's very, I'm honored to be that kind of person for people, but it also like I definitely watch what I do and watch what I say to make sure it's like always positive in some way.
Right. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure your fans are loving everything that you are putting on screen. So before I let you go, Dan, I want to give you the opportunity to uh your time to shine. If you have anything that you want to plug, anything that you want to tease, that you can tease, any messages for your
Uh,
fans, this is
uh,
it.
well, I'm really excited. I have two voiceover gigs right now that I can't talk about, but
Okay.
I am so excited when I'm able to. And when it does eventually, when I'm allowed to talk about it, it will be on my Instagram at Miss Dana Heath.
Okay.
But I've been working on those two, and I've been working so hard on them, and I'm so excited to see them happening. One is going to be on Netflix, I believe. The other one we're still figuring out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a tease would be one of them is very important to I guess the Black community. And
Yeah.
another one is just fun for little girls. I
Okay.
think that's like a nice way to tease them
Yeah,
both.
that's a good tease. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, those two are like my current stuff, but I've been auditioning again, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to get the thing that I've been working on. Um, and yeah, for now, those are it, but you never know. Something could pop up.
No. Okay. Well, Dana, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. I
Thank
love your
you.
energy. You're just such a bubbly personality, and you're an Aries.
Hey, Aries
Virgos and
gang.
Aries, you know,
I
we
know.
we get
I
down.
mean, for real. Yeah. I get along with every Virgo I run into. It makes sense.
We can tell. So again, thank you, Dana. I look forward to seeing your blossoming career. You are what Hollywood needs right now.
Thank you so much for having me.